Hello, brothers and sisters. Thanks for joining me again. A week or two ago, I think I did a story related to New York and California issuing illegal aliens commercial driver's licenses, and some of them even had no name on them. That was allowed. And some of them were actually real ID. And last time I checked, the law says for it to be real ID, you have to be a US citizen, which sounded crazy to me because that just means it's just easier for them to go vote because they can show a real ID, which is proof that their citizenship. And that seemed crazy, but New York and California are very easy on illegal aliens because they want the votes, in my view. We all know everyone in America wants the cheap labor. Even the Republicans want that, to be fair. My position has always been if you're in the country illegally, you should be deported. And if you want to come back into the country legally, that's great. Come in, but you got to do it the legal way. But now, as a follow-up, I just saw this story. New York DMV workers charged with cheating scheme to sell trucker licenses. Now, I haven't read this yet, so maybe it's not related to that Real ID and no-name scandal, but let's see if it is. This is scary. New York has indicted 7 people, 3 of them DMV employees. DMV is Department of Motor Vehicles, for anyone who doesn't know, for their alleged involvement in a commercial driver's license cheating scheme to give unqualified drivers the credentials to drive on U.S. roads. I think in that other story, we also saw that ICE was stopping people who couldn't speak English and then finding out if they were migrants, because it really is a requirement. You have to be able to speak English and read road signs, and some of them could not in order to actually qualify to get a CDL. So maybe that's what it is. They're overlooking the point that they can't speak English, and they're making money off it, it sounds like. The Nassau County District Attorney's Office has charged a group of 7 people, including DMV employees, on Thursday in an alleged driver's license cheating scheme on Long Island. Bypassing that safeguard is far from harmless shortcut. It is a dangerous threat to public safety, said New York Inspector General Lucy Lang during a Thursday morning press conference. I think New York got a lot of heat over that Real ID, no name thing, and they started looking into what was going on, and it looks like they discovered something. 7 people have been indicted on 51 felonies. Wow, that's almost as many as Trump, for the cheating scheme. Video evidence shows people in disguises going in to take the written portion of the exam for people who are unable to pass on their own. Some of those indicted actually worked for the DMV. Wow. So, okay, they were having people take the test for them, and DMV employees were allowing it. Among those charged include Kanasha Middleton, a supervisor at the Garden City branch of the DMV, as well as her sister, Jamie Middleton, who is accused of taking at least 10 different permit tests for no-show drivers. There we go. Surveillance images show Jamie Middleton wearing different disguises, even fake facial hair, as she posed as a man who would be applying for a commercial's driving permit, but she forgot to take off her fake nails. Well, we don't know how she identifies. You're going to laugh and possibly cry at the disguises. So here's a couple of the disguises. Yeah, you can definitely see the nails and the beard. Of course, the disguises could be lazy since they had a worker on the inside waving the cheaters through. Prosecutors say the defendants charged as much as $3,000 per permit test, 2 of them working the counters at DMV so they could wave the phony test taker through. $3,000 to push through drivers who pose a deadly risk to millions of drivers on the U.S. highways. Yeah, these people were not qualified to get those driver's licenses. And I think this all started because that Indian trucker who was here illegally made an illegal U-turn on the Florida Turnpike, and a van ran right into it, killing everyone in the van. And I think that guy couldn't even read road signs, I believe, and it was an illegal U-turn. I think that's what brought attention to this kind of stuff. The defendants are facing multiple felony counts, including impairing the integrity of government licensing examination, corrupting the government, tampering with public records, and falsifying business records. If convicted, all defendants are facing a maximum sentence of between 2.5 and 7 years in prison. They have all been arraigned and are due back in court in November. We saw a similar cheating scheme take place in Florida, where people who couldn't speak or read English used a hidden camera to cheat the CDL test. Makes you wonder how all the illegal aliens are getting their CDLs. Yeah, and this is one of the pictures I think I showed from last time. If New York wants to hand out CDLs to illegal immigrants with no name given, that's on them. The moment they cross into Oklahoma, they answer to our laws. Oklahoma Highway Patrol performed an enforcement action along I-40 and apprehended 125 illegal immigrants. This is keeping Oklahoma safe. And this is the story I did a couple of weeks ago. Notice, no name given, right? New York State license. It's a Class A license, so it's commercial. And look, it's got a Real ID star that only goes to U.S. citizens. This is crazy. Why are we doing this? This is unsafe, and we're giving a citizen-only ID to somebody who's not a citizen. So good. I'm glad they got caught. With the scale of it, with Oklahoma here catching 125 of them, and I think that was across 3 days of just stopping pretty much every truck that came down, and then any that couldn't speak English, they had ICE look into their background, as I think what the process was. But 125, oh my goodness. And it's completely legal at like way stations and stuff for Oklahoma to stop trucks and do safety inspections. And if they can't speak English, that's a safety hazard. So what do you guys think? Is it okay to give illegal aliens Real ID? Is it okay for people who can't speak English, who can't pass the test, who can't read road signs to get commercial driver's licenses? You tell me. I think not. If you like this, like and subscribe. If you don't like it, don't watch it. Thanks. Bye.